Welcome to Kansas Ag Report with your host, Brian Hallman.
Welcome to Kansas Ag Report. I'm Brian Hallman, and here's our lineup for today's show. In Ag News, we'll take a look at local and national headlines affecting Kansas farmers. In our Ag Feature, we talk with Lucas Haig from K-State about winter hardiness of this year's wheat crop. And inside Kansas Ag, Kansas Wheat tells us about a Nigerian milling manufacturing industry's visit to Kansas. Then we get a report from KDA. And in news you need to know, we get our weekly update from the Kansas Livestock Association, look back at last week's market activity with the guys from Paragon, and we'll let you know about important events coming up around the state of Kansas. Glad you could join us.
Closed captioning brought to you by Dick Edwards in Manhattan, selling America's #1 truck, the Ford F-150, for over 30 years. DickEdwardsAuto.com.
Kansas Soybean Commission, the Soybean Checkoff. Progress powered by Kansas farmers. KansasSoybeans.org.
Ag Risk Solutions. Experience, knowledge, integrity. Your crop insurance solution, Ag Risk Solutions. Dick Edwards Auto Plaza in Junction City, home of this year's Motor Trend Truck of the Year, Ram Truck. DickEdwardsAuto.com.
Here's our national headlines for this week in Ag News. The June 30th crop report shows corn planted in 2015 is estimated at 88.9 million acres, down 2% from last year. This represents the lowest planted acreage in the U.S. since 2010. Soybean planted area for 2015 is estimated at a record high 85.1 million acres, up 2% from last year. Area for harvest at 84.4 million acres is also up 2% from 2014 and will be a record high if realized. Crop damage from flooding is widespread and varies throughout the Corn Belt. Jason Alexander, Vice President of Crop Insurance for Farm Credit America, says it's important for farmers to be well educated on all their options. Alexander says it's important for farmers to look closely at the balance sheets when thinking about replanting this late in the season. And if you do, you need to ask how much coverage you are losing. He also says farmers should consult their crop insurance agent before making any decisions. Dairy farmers can sign up for the 2016 coverage in the Margin Protection Program beginning now through September 30th at the Farm Service Agency. Participating farmers will remain in the program through 2018. Producers have the option of choosing the level of coverage that best fits their operation. The USDA has an online calculator available to help producers determine the optimum coverage for their farm. The calculator is at fsa.usda.gov/MPP tool. And in local news, Kansas is one of several states the USDA is set to resurvey farmers to get a more accurate view of this year's planted acreage. Producers in Arkansas, Kansas, and Missouri will be asked for new soybean acreage figures, and Kansas sorghum growers will be resurveyed. The USDA says if the new data justifies changes, updated planted acreage projections will be in the August 12th crop production report. Kansas corn growers planted 4 million acres this year, unchanged from 2014, according to the USDA's National Agricultural Statistics Service. Biotechnology varieties were used on 95% of the area planted, unchanged from 2014. Soybean plantings are estimated at 3.7 million acres, down 8% from last year. Biotechnology varieties were used on 96% of the area planted, up 2% from 2014. Sorghum acres planted at 3.3 million acres is up 16% from a year ago. Kansas Attorney General Derek Schmidt announced last week that he has joined 8 other state attorney generals in a lawsuit asking a federal court to overturn new water regulations. The regulations, known generally as the Waters of the U.S. rule, would extend the EPA and Army Corps of Engineers regulatory reach into small waterways, ditches, and ponds on Kansas farms, ranches, and land developments. The complaint asks a federal judge to declare the rule illegal and issue an injunction to prevent the agency from enforcing it. Up next in our Ag Feature, we talk with Lucas Haig from K-State about winter hardiness of this year's wheat crop. You're watching Kansas Ag Report. Please stay tuned.
This segment brought to you by Grass and Grain, online or in the mail, keeping Kansas farmers informed for over 60 years. grassandgrain.com.
A.B. Flint Motor Company, selling quality used cars and trucks in southeast Topeka at 32nd and South Kansas Avenue. Integrity Gun and Pawn, 2 Topeka locations specializing in firearms and training. igpawn.com to learn more. Kansas Weed Commission, leaders in the adoption of profitable innovations for weeds. Online at kswheat.com.
I'm Dr. Frank Lyons, a physician here at Kansas Regenerative Medicine Center. As one of the only standalone stem cell centers in the U.S., we use your stem cells as therapy for arthritis and some autoimmune diseases.
I'm Dr. Andrew Poe. Here at Kansas Regenerative Medicine Center, utilizing the latest technology under strict protocols, we're able to harvest your stem cells from your own fat to treat a variety of medical conditions. The best part about it is, it's a same-day surgical procedure and requires no general anesthesia.
After 35 years of service to Northeast Kansas, you've come to know Dick Edwards as your one-stop shop for all your automotive needs. Housing an inventory of America's best lineup of Ford, Mazda, Lincoln, and Hyundai. Here at our service department, they offer anything from major repairs to quick oil changes to getting out those dents and dings and restoring your automobile back to its normal condition. Now you know why so many people have chosen Dick Edwards for the last 35 years. Dick Edwards Ford, 2 miles east of Town Center Mall on Highway 24.
You need a partner that you can count on to be there for your business. Providing a depth of understanding to risk management issues so you don't have to. A knowledgeable support team located in your area, delivering products and services to make you more successful.
Here at Blue River Traders, we have the greatest selection of rustic and western furniture in Kansas.
At Blue River Traders, you can select from an inventory of rustic lodge or western furnishings. With a designer on hand, Blue River Traders will help create the look you desire.
Biodiesel, made from sustainable resources, is diversifying our fuel supply. This year, biodiesel will displace over 1 billion gallons of fossil fuel nationwide. It's making our economy stronger and our communities healthier. It's working here and across America. Get biodiesel going in your community. Visit americasadvancedbiofuel.com.
Thanks for staying with us this morning. We're at the Kansas Wheat Innovation Center in Manhattan. We're joined by Lucas Haig, who is the Kansas State Northwest Research Center Extension Agent. I believe I got that right. That's a big title. So Lucas, thanks for joining us this morning. They say wheat dies 9 times throughout the year. It may have held true this year.
Yeah, we certainly put it through its paces. Even though we had a really tremendous start, I mean, we had some of the best stands conditions to drill into, and good stands that we'd had in a long time this fall. But a lot of that really changed there in mid-November, 9th, 10th, 11th November. It was really that Arctic blast that came through really changed the tone and our yield prospects out of this crop. And so that's something we've seen, especially so in my territory, northwest, north central Kansas. We had significant winter injury across that entire territory. And as we move more towards western Kansas, it was much more related to the stands were just evenly thinned by that event, as opposed to more in the eastern end of my territory, much more management related. Wheat after soybeans took it particularly hard. Wheat that was planted shallower in loose seedbed conditions took it particularly hard. But the underlying event that really drove this was, we had almost too good of conditions last fall. We were too warm, and so it takes time to harden off wheat, to harden off the crowns in those plants. And for that to happen, we really have to have the crown temperature below about that 50 degrees Fahrenheit. And ideally, we got to be down around that 40 degrees to actually have much of that process. We accumulate solutes or sugars in the crown, and that's what, it's kind of like adding glycol to water to antifreeze, and we lower the freezing point in that crown. We just didn't have the cool temperatures we needed to start that process. And so when that Arctic blast came through there in mid-November, essentially our wheat had not been hardened off at all, and that's why we've seen the thinning of the stands that we did. So immediately at that point, we'd already kind of capped some of our yield potential then.
Dividing line in the state, I know there are parts of the state that we've got great yields. We're hearing numbers now coming in 70 bushels. Parts of it we may see 10 bushels. Was there kind of a dividing line on that?
Yeah, you know, and it's always hard to draw solid lines, but certainly north central Kansas, Smith, Jewell, Mitchell counties in through there is much more management related, rotation related. We've still seen winter injury in Russell County. By the time we was down into southern Ellsworth County, into Barton County, a lot less winter injury there. Cheyenne, Rawlins, Decatur, northwest Kansas was hit particularly hard by winter injury.
Well, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to finish up. We're going to talk about, well, we're only about 2.5 months away from making the decision again this year on what you're going to put in the ground. We're watching Kansas Ag Report. See you in just a minute.
This segment brought to you by Kansas Regenerative Medicine Center. Your stem cells, your health, your life. Farmers Insurance, your best protection against the unexpected. Call Agent Dan Key at 785-408-5459. Grass and Grain, online or in the mail, keeping Kansas farmers informed for over 60 years. grassandgrain.com. Blue River Traders, the finest selection of Western-style furniture for your home. BlueRiverTraders.com.
We're joined by Lucas Haig today, and we're at the Wheat Innovation Center in Manhattan, Kansas. We're talking about winter hardiness of wheat. And Lucas, in the first segment, we were talking about things look bright last fall. We thought we were going to have a great crop, and then we got the Arctic blast. We are literally 2.5 months away from putting that crop back in the ground. What should producers be thinking about?
So I'm really cautioning producers from putting too much weight into what happened this past year. It's really an odd event that we would have that type of that Arctic blast come through without having that wheat hardened off. And so we had a lot of questions about why did our ratings for winter hardiness not line up with what we were seeing in the field. And it's because typically our winter hardiness is scored off of assuming the wheat's already hardened, how well does it tolerate an exceptionally cold winter or periods of warming up and cooling down. So that's a completely different type of event than what we experienced this year. So I caution folks from putting a lot of weight into that. I still think we need to look at overall factors for our wheat variety selection, drought tolerance. Do we have some natural resistance to stripe rust? Wheat streak mosaic was certainly a large issue in many areas this year in the state. So still, I think it's important we look at the whole package when making that decision.
And I know there are a lot of varieties coming out of K-State right now. What are some of the varieties that producers could be looking forward to coming up into the fall?
Sure. So Oakley and Canmark are two new releases out of K-State. Oakley CL done exceptionally well this year due to its wheat streak resistance and also held up really well under stripe rust pressure. Canmark I think is going to be an excellent fit for us in western Kansas, especially under irrigation. Other varieties that are doing well for us this year, Bird, WB Grainfield. Anyways, there's I can't get into listing them all, but right. there's lots of options out there, and that's what I've been telling producers is, if there's a variety you're a little bit uncomfortable with, dump it and get something new, because we've got as many good new varieties to choose from as we've had in a long time. TAM 111 has really dominated the acreage in western Kansas so far. We don't see it in that top grouping in the yield trials much anymore. I think it's time we start thinking about dialing back those acres and replacing it with some other material. Denali actually has TAM 111 in its pedigree and is a good fit for a potential replacement, very broadly adapted across western Kansas.
Again, we have the opportunity to plant into some great subsoil moisture this year. I mean, we should be optimistic, hopefully optimistic about the 2016 crop.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of things to be positive about. It's still important. We got time between now and planting time. It's important to keep that ground in condition, keep our weed control under wraps, so we can not let the weeds rob us of that moisture we need to get the crop off to a good start. And good opportunity for producers to look at the performance test data, www.agronomy.ksu.edu. Look at our performance test data and strongly consider looking at some seed-applied fungicides this fall. I think would be a good thing for producers to consider as well.
Well, another thing you need to probably keep in mind is, as we're starting to move into that, is making good contact with your local seed dealer, and following up with them and finding what works best in your area. So, Lucas, thanks for joining us this morning.
You bet. Thank you.
You're watching Kansas Ag Report. We'll see you in just a minute.
Eight senior managers from Nigeria's milling and noodle pasta manufacturing industries visited Kansas in late June to examine the current hard red winter wheat crop. This annual event helps maintain a loyal customer base in a traditionally large market. Year to year, Nigeria buys more U.S. hard red winter wheat than any other country. Nigerian millers imported 58.4 million bushels of hard red winter wheat last marketing year. In Nigeria, instant noodles are an increasingly popular source of nutrition for more than 170 million people. Combined with bread, cookies, crackers, and pasta, per capita consumption of wheat foods in Nigeria has more than tripled since 1995. Nigerian flour is used predominantly to make a dense, high-volume loaf of bread. In addition to bread, Nigerians eat more instant noodles than anyone else outside of Southeast Asia. Why? Because as more Nigerians move from rural to urban areas, they are looking for a more convenient, nutritious food source. U.S. Wheat Associates, with assistance from Kansas Wheat, help introduce this product in the market. Today, instant noodles made with hard red winter wheat are so popular that every milling company produces them. Kansas Wheat, together with U.S. Wheat Associates, continually works to strengthen the relationship between Kansas wheat farmers and Nigerian flour millers through annual trade team visits and specialized courses at the IGP Institute. Through these activities, Nigerian millers know Kansas farmers will have the wheat they want year after year.
Thanks for making Kansas Ag Report the most watched ag show in Kansas.
It's summer in Kansas, and that means lots of great specialty crops are available from local farms. The From the Land of Kansas program has partnered with Kansas Farm Bureau to promote the Savor the Season campaign. This campaign spotlights the excitement of cooking with fresh Kansas-grown ingredients. It is designed to educate and motivate consumers to cook with Kansas specialty crops. The campaign highlights at least one fruit, vegetable, or herb in each recipe created by Kansas's own Chef Allie. The recipe cards also provide tips on selection, storage, nutrition, and a kitchen tip for the seasonal crop. A full nutrition panel, composed by the Kansas Value Added Center, housed at Kansas State University, accompanies each recipe. Some example recipes include peach and tomato salad with goat cheese and crispy bacon, roasted sweet potato, sausage, and kale bake with Swiss cheese sauce, and pan-roasted Brussels sprouts. You can find the cards at your local farmer's market, online at fromthelandofkansas.com/savortheseason, or follow us on Pinterest at From the Land of Kansas. Once you've created your dish, you have the chance to win a weekly giveaway through Instagram by using the hashtag #ShowUsYourDish and tagging at From the Land of Kansas and at Kansas Farm Bureau. Weekly winners will be announced on Winter Wednesday. If you're looking for ingredients to spruce up your family's menu, check out the From the Land of Kansas Marketplace. We've got everything from barbecue sauce to pizza crust mix. Check out the site at shop.fromthelandofkansas.com.
This segment brought to you by Oldie Seed Farms, carrying soil-specific seed. Find them on the web at oldieseed.com. That's OHLDE seed.com. A.B. Flint Motor Company, selling quality used cars and trucks in Southeast Topeka at 32nd and South Kansas Avenue. Integrity Gun and Pawn, 2 Topeka locations specializing in firearms and training. igpawn.com to learn more. Impact Satellite, your local authorized DirecTV dealer. Impact Satellite at 785-554-5974.
All the time. Monthly payments of $289, $189, or even $89. How is this done, you ask? Well, with large down payments, low mileage leases, and you must qualify for all rebates offered. Can we do this? Yes, we can. But we'd prefer to give you the straight talk, where we tell you all the information up front, and you make the decision on what vehicle and payment you want. You won't need bifocals to read the fine print here. Dick Edwards, serving the Manhattan, Fort Riley, and Junction City areas for over 30 years.
Imagine having someone help you pick the best corn hybrids for every field on your farm. Your Oldie representative can combine your data with his data to offer a field-by-field prescription. Contact Oldie Seed today at 877-692-4555.
Tammy the Pro Home Plus is all about providing warmth and kindness to aging individuals who find it difficult to live on their own. Tammy's team is made up of experienced caregivers and nurses committed to the highest level of individualized care, focusing on health and well-being, and assisting with nutrition, grooming, medications, therapies, and daily living needs, all in a warm, caring environment. Call Tammy the Pro Home Plus today at 785-383-7094 to learn how we can help.
The producer-funded Kansas Wheat Innovation Center was built to get improved varieties into the hands of farmers faster. Kansas Wheat, farmers advancing their future through wheat genetics research.
I will take action against herbicide-resistant weeds. I will know my weeds, and I will stop them before they go to seed. I will do whatever it takes to give my crops the upper hand. And I will use multiple herbicide sites of action because every action counts. I will take action, this time for all time.
You hear it all the time. Monthly payments of $289, $189, or even $89. How is this done, you ask? Well, with large down payments, low mileage leases, and you must qualify for all rebates offered. Can we do this? Yes, we can. But we'd prefer to give you the straight call, where we tell you all the information up front, and you make the decision on what vehicle and payment you want. You won't need bifocals to read the fine print here. Dick Edwards, serving the Manhattan, Fort Riley, and Junction City areas for over 30 years.
You need a partner that you can count on to be there for your business. Providing a depth of understanding to risk management issues so you don't have to. A knowledgeable support team located in your area, delivering products and services to make you more successful.
The USDA Animal and Plant Health Inspection Service has released a final rule to allow imports of fresh beef from northern Argentina and 14 states in Brazil. This came despite strong opposition from the National Cattlemen's Beef Association, Kansas Livestock Association, and the cattle industry due to animal disease concerns. According to NCBA, there have been repeated foot and mouth disease outbreaks over the years in many neighboring South American countries, as well as a history of animal health and food safety compliance problems in both Argentina and Brazil. The Obama administration did not conduct an objective quantitative risk analysis for this rule, as was performed for Uruguay in 2002. NCBA stated the rule has violated the federal rulemaking process, circumvented the ongoing Government Accountability Office's review of the risk analysis process, and withheld critical information from stakeholders. Foot and mouth disease is a highly contagious and devastating disease, not just for the cattle industry, but for all cloven-hoofed animals, and it can be introduced and spread through the importation of both fresh and frozen products. An outbreak would be devastating to animal agriculture and the broader U.S. economy, with estimates for total economic losses ranging from $37 to $228 billion, depending on the size of the outbreak.
Good morning. I'm Derek Hermish with Paragon Ag. There's been a lot, I repeat a lot, of fundamental stories affecting the grain markets over the last couple of weeks. Weather is always the #1 mover, and the end of June saw the grain markets finally make a rally off of the news that conditions are too wet in the eastern part of the Corn Belt, and yield loss is expected. Combine the current weather market with the foreign developments that are making headlines, which includes Greece likely veering to make an exit from the Eurozone, and a Chinese stock market experiencing major losses over the last month that has media sites printing stories comparing it to the United States 1929 stock crash. And you've got a recipe for lots of uncertainty and lots of volatility. Times like these, it is important to stay informed and have an opinion, but it is much more important to have a plan. In times of great volatility, it can become easy to either put your hands in your pockets and do nothing because you don't want to be wrong, or the other extreme can lead you into an emotional tornado where you're hearing sirens go off every day. There is a big move in the marketplace, and before you know it, you've allowed yourself to be blown around in the wind until you're tattered and torn. Having a plan is very important in times like these, and while each plan can differ, setting some target goals and drawing some lines in the sand should be included. I would add, don't let your plan rope you off completely from participating in an extended rally for soybeans should we experience some continued problematic weather over the month of August. I'm Derek Hermish. Enjoy the rest of your weekend.
Closed captioning brought to you by Dick Edwards in Manhattan, selling America's #1 truck, the Ford F-150, for over 30 years. DickEdwardsAuto.com.
Kansas Soybean Commission, the Soybean Checkoff. Progress powered by Kansas farmers. KansasSoybeans.org. Ag Risk Solutions. Experience, knowledge, integrity. Your crop insurance solution, Ag Risk Solutions. Dick Edwards Auto Plaza in Junction City, home of this year's Motor Trend Truck of the Year, Ram Truck. DickEdwardsAuto.com.
Well, that's our show for today. I hope you'll join us each week for more news and information about agriculture in the state of Kansas. I'm Brian Holman, and thanks for watching.
Here at Blue River Traders, we have the greatest selection of rustic and western furniture in Kansas.
At Blue River Traders, you can select from an inventory of rustic lodge or western furnishings. With a designer on hand, Blue River Traders will help create the look you desire.
Imagine having someone help you pick the best corn hybrids for every field on your farm. Your Oldie representative can combine your data with his data to offer a field-by-field prescription. Contact Oldie Seed today at 877-692-4555.
Tammy the Pro Home Plus is all about providing warmth and kindness to aging individuals who find it difficult to live on their own. Tammy's team is made up of experienced caregivers and nurses committed to the highest level of individualized care, focusing on health and well-being, and assisting with nutrition, grooming, medications, therapies, and daily living needs, all in a warm, caring environment. Call Tammy the Pro Home Plus today at 785-383-7094 to learn how we can help.